Two of the big names in the wallet market for tactical and unique wallet offerings today are Trayvax and Dango. Each has a huge and devoted fanboy following, and maybe fangirls following as well, I'd imagine they do. Well, today we're going to do a comparison between the Maverick M1 Rail wallet and the Trayvax Contour, so stick around. Welcome to Walletopia. We appreciate you being here. Go to walletopia.info as usual. Remember, this is where you go when you want to know anything and everything there is about the world of wallets, especially since we review them all. And there's this explore.walletopia.info website. If you go there, a great interactive method to find your next wallet. Now, today's comparison, as I said, is between the two heavyweights, the Trayvax Contour and the Dango M1 Rail wallets. So let's get into it. Now we have them both here, the Trayvax Contour, the M1, the Maverick M1 Rail wallet. Now I chose the M1 Rail as its card capacity better matches the Contour. The fact it doesn't have any leather on it, it really isn't something that bothers me or concerns me in the comparison at all. Now the main differences between both products comes down to three things we're going to talk about: construction, capacity, and usability. Now I consider both of these wallets to be slim, but they're not minimalist, as they're just too bulky and heavy for what that really means. Now you might think differently. Yell at me in the comments if you want. Give me your angle on what you're thinking. That's how we'll do it. Now, I'm not going to address preferences either. That's really a personal thing of this. But first, let's look at the features of each, starting with the Dango. As we know with all unboxings with Dango products, they come in this fantastic metal box, so we will dispense with that quickly since we already know what that is. And I always have this issue with Dango products. Their connection points always seem to get caught underneath the lip. Every single one of them does this. Note the 4 connection points, 2 in the bottom, 2 in the top right here. That's really important. It's if you want to use it for a lanyard, pocket security with a tether, that kind of thing. On the rail side, note this rail functionality here. Cards go in here in particular. And this has attachments via screws. Any M series can actually pick up this rail kit and attach it really onto your existing wallet. If you look at these flex points right up here at the top, right there, very awesome engineering here and machining capability where cards go in and they click once they get past this top. Really provides the ability of minor force and then makes it easy. And cards come out with a thumb when needed. The tolerances are really impressive. On the other side here, we have a more standard M configuration with the aluminum plate right here. This is what provides the ability for RFID. I know, I don't like it either. It's just there, so you kind of take advantage of it while it's there. And of course we have this silicone band here, which is used for additional cards if you want to put in, or for cash that's folded in thirds or twice. Now, the holes at the top right here we go. The holes at the top right here allow for additional accessories. There is a chassis kit that you can also put in here as well, which gives you greater cash capacity in there. There's expansion capabilities here that make this a real nice option. Setting that aside, now we can get into the Trayvax Contour. Almost all Trayvax products come in this kind of origami box. We open this up. Here is the Contour itself, and it also comes with the Torx wrench, which we'll talk about. And every one is made by hand. This is Kitana, if I recall, right there. Very nice. All right. With this product, which we've talked about, it has several features on it for adjustability. The first is it has this pin right here, and this pin moves back and forth based off of where you want it for capacity of cards. The more to the right, the more you want to put in here. The more to the left, the tighter you want it to be. Of course, cards go into here on the side, and behind it, under the strap, is where you put your cash, folded thirds or twice, really is up to you. And then at the front, we have a bottle opener here, a wide open space for ID, although you will likely have to take out ID. I've never had the experience of just showing it from my wallet for ages. And you have your thumb push from here to get your cards out, and a tether point here. So there's a lot going on with this wallet, a lot of capabilities, very sturdy and very functional. As mentioned, we also have this little torque wrench here, Torx, T-O-R-X, for adjustment. Let me show you how that works. So this little Torx wrench works right here at the top of this pin. You can see that there. It also works on these frame screws if you wanted to adjust and move this leather on both sides. If you're a real hoarder of cards, this is going to be your dream. Otherwise, it's good where it's at. So you can move the leather in or out there at your leisure, but the little Torx wrench comes along with the wallet and provides that capability. Now from a construction standpoint, let's take a look. The M1 Rail is designed and made in the USA, machined from 6061 aerospace grade aluminum. Comes in 2 anodized colors, One I have here is satin silver, and also it comes in black. This band is silicone with a texture so it grips, which is very useful when you want to add cash here to the front. However, there are reports of it breaking, which is totally within the realm of reality, and if it does, then this back plate becomes useless right here. Because if you take that off, this back plate just starts to flop around, and so you really do have to have that there. It's integral to the design of the wallet, and that is perfectly fine. It's really not a big deal. I'm less impressed with their leather versions that they have, and that's why this all-metal version of this Dango product, this M1 Rail, is really good for them. Now let's look at the Contour construction. Designed and handmade in the United States, this is a CNC machine stainless steel plate up here, and it has a PVD coating for durability. It really is a variety of thin film deposition techniques where a solid material is vaporized in a vacuum environment and deposited on the stainless steel plate as a pure material or allied composition coating. It really provides some durability to it. As mentioned, this is Horween leather here on the back. Fantastic, full grain, oil tanned. It's made in Chicago. Much higher quality than the Dango leather for sure, which is mostly genuine, although some are top grade. And you also can have it engraved here in the front if you want greater personalization. The ability to add additional straps here is also a really nice touch. Now, the M1 is more refined in its construction, but the complexity of the Contour follows the ethos of Trayvax, and it really depends on which one you like more, clean lines or more interest. There's a couple other angles here, so let's take a look. From a size perspective, the Dango is wider than the Trayvax, but the Trayvax is thicker than the Dango. For the Dango weight is 86 grams, the Trayvax is 77 grams. From a price perspective, we can see that the Dango is $109, although other M1 models increase in price as you go along. And the Trayvax starts at $140 and goes up, really depends on the material. If you're looking at a titanium model, they really get expensive there. Now let's talk about capacity on these two wallets. The M1 Rail, 9 cards maximum. That's all you can get. It's all the engineering and the machining will allow you to put in here without adding additional cards under the strap or adding the chassis component here. And at that point then you're pushing them under the strap, which makes it really difficult because you can't push from under the strap very easily and versus what's under this back plate here. Now for the Contour, the company indicates it can hold up to 13 cards and 10 bills. Now that would really be pushing this to its limit, but the point is that you have the flexibility without jeopardizing the security of your cards because they're all held in here via the strap. There's no issues there. It's very simple in its method of carrying, and its capacity is very, very high. Okay, now on to usability. Let's start with the Contour. Once you set your adjustment pin right here with that Torx wrench, it really gives you all kinds of flexibility and ability on how many cards. Once you have that all taken care of, you just unhook the eyelet, pull your cards out, push this way, they come out, or you want to have access to cash, undo the eyelet, pull the cash from here. It's all based around this eyelet adjustment here, which is really great. It's all accessed the same way. If you try and put cards in the intended cash spot back here, then the cards tend to bend. So really cards go in here, and that is its intended place is here. Not here, that's cash. But with the eyelet adjusted, really it's a simple function of undo, get access, and it's very simple to use, easy in your hand as well. Now with the M1 Rail, it's all thumb driven. There's no need for 2 hands in this wallet, although it is a little wide. I don't know, depending on my hand, if you have bigger hands, it's definitely wider than the Trayvax there. You have 2 hands, you have thumb pushes down here on both sides, whether you're pushing them out from the rail side or from the backstop side that's here. And with both my hands, I know that I could drop this and it would really weather the drop well without a problem. Cards may come out because you do have this opening here, whereas with the Contour, everything is strapped in. There ain't a chance that we're getting cards or cash flinging out of this if you happen to drop it. Now both of these require sorting through the cards that you push out with your thumb. They don't fan out. You have to sort. You have to push them out and then sort through the card that you want, which isn't a big deal. But let me show you that. So if we put these right here at the top, and they go in like that, you can see that they have safety below this little knob at the top here as it clicks into place. But you have to push all the cards out and then gain access to the stack to see which one you want. Same thing happens there with the Contour, where we put the cards in, put the clip in place, and there we have it. Now with this here, you can just unflick that And then of course you're pushing cards out again in a stack mechanism to find the one you want, put them back in. It's fine. It's not a problem. It's just that you do have to use a thumb and look at the stack of cards that you're extracting to get the one you want from both wallets. In the end, I find them both to be very competent. The final decision for purchase, of course, is really which one comes down to a preference for you. It's a look and feel of design and how you function with it, how you like it, and how it feels in your hand. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. But they're both very, very solid products, and both made in the United States, a lot of metal, very well made. Things aren't going to fall apart here. So let's look at the final scores between the two. So you can see between both of them, they come in very close. A couple differences between them, but overall, you're still ending up with a great product either way, and you will not be disappointed. So hopefully that gave you kind of a quick comparison between the two. They're completely different, but they're also very similar in what they do. And so depending on your preference, depending on which fanboy or fangirl you are for which company you're looking at, you're still going to end up with a great wallet. So take a look at either one of these if you're interested. We appreciate you being with us here today. We look for you in the next review. Thanks, bye.